a celebrity on here.
That's right.
Woohoo!
He's,
Uh,
he- he's so humble. Like, now,
I, all right. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday time for the AMAs with the amazing Robert Hollis.
hello,
It's the
everyone.
it's February 24th. We are so happy that you are with us. I see two hands already going up, and it's very simple. The reason why we call it AMA is because you get to ask Robert any question. Ask me anything. So that's the reason why we do this. Three hands are up. Oh, four hands are up. This is going to be a busy, exciting day. So let's get some of the basics out of the way, the housekeeping, and then let's get this party started. First of all, thank you, each and every one of you, for helping to support our channel. We need to grow more. We want to grow more. With your help, we do. We are right now at 6,997 subscribers. We are 3 away from the magic 7K. So we appreciate your help and spreading the word. That's the whole idea. That's how we grow. That's how we get gooder and gooder every single day. And of course, when you get 1% gooder every day at the end of the year, you're 365% gooder. That is a holicism. So let's make it come true. The next thing I'd like to share is, again, if anybody wants to ask a question, it's very simple. If you're watching us on YouTube, type your question in the chat. If you're watching us on Zoom, type your question in the chat. If you want to ask Robert directly, you got to be on Zoom. So go ahead, and there are buttons at the bottom of the Zoom screen. If you're on Zoom, put your cursor in the middle of the screen. There's buttons that appear on the bottom. One of those should be reactions. If you don't see it, then click the more button and reactions will appear on the side. Then click on raise hand in reactions and we will call on you. We are now up to 5 people. Oh boy, fun day ahead. And then finally, before we turn it over to our host with the most, Terry Hollis had a vibe of the day. And given where we've been going with unlimited wisdom and everything that we have been putting together, I just felt this was very appropriate. Your mind is a magnet. If you think of blessings, you attract blessings. And if you think of problems, you attract problems. Always cultivate good thoughts and always remain positive and optimistic. We get what we think. So by thinking positive, life will be automatically positive.
Nice.
And with that, let's get the AMAs underway. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the AMazing Robert Hollis!
Thank you so much, Craig, the hostess with the mostest, and hello to each and every one of you. I love you dearly. Thank you so much. I mean, can all of us together, 29 people on here, reach out to someone and say, hey, are you subscribed to Unlimited Wisdom? And if they say no, go do that for me. Do me a huge personal favor and go do that. I know we're really close to 800,000 views, which is really, really powerful as well. So, normally what I do when I ask me anything is I just open it up and I say a few things, and I just have a couple of cool things to say to you guys. Right now we're launching Unlimited Wisdom, which is a nonprofit organization, and the sole purpose of Unlimited Wisdom is exactly in the title. And so Craig can post it here in the group and also on YouTube. But check out the podcast that Craig and Matthew and I did called The Visionaries, right? And you will definitely get where we're going, right? So we just want to be there for people. And the more that I dive in, I've always have stepped into this range of just helping people be the best people they can be, and every area of life. And so a lot of people always ask me questions that have to do with business. And in reality, there's really only two groups of people out there, right? There's people that have the imagination that they can do something different than they're doing right now, and they become a wonderful becoming in the process of doing that, the pursuit of happiness. And the other people that do the same kind of imagination, but in the opposite way. See, you can hear from their voice and what they're saying is their imagination is, I could never do this. I'm not technical. This is very frustrating. I'm overwhelmed. I'm confused. I always find the wrong people. See, they're really good at imaginating and being imaginate. They are always thinking of things that are the opposite of what the things they should be imagining. So, when you think of little kids, right, and they're imagining, how many of them are thinking about their imaginary friend as a supervillain? This would not be a very good tea party. I also don't think that they imagine that they're around a group of bullies. You know what I mean? It's like I think that they might have a little bit about their imagination, or they're a superhero. They got a cape, they're a firefighter, they're a cowboy, maybe they're a princess. You see what I'm saying? Where the imagination is usually focused on things that we would love to happen in our life. And so not only check out Unlimited Wisdom as our podcast that was released yesterday, but if you guys haven't watched the AMA that I went off on last Saturday, please watch the first hour or so. I'm really doing my best each and every day of forcing myself to imaginate. And my goal in life with Unlimited Wisdom is to actually utilize words that people are okay with. Did you guys catch that? Because there's a lot of words out there that when our filter in our mind, because don't you agree? It's not you guys. See, there's no way that each and every one of you incredible women and men are in this Ask Me Anything. I mean, you're not know-it-alls. I know that about you. So I'm just talking about the know-it-alls out there, right? The people that don't know that they don't know, but they're yet still out there believing that they know how everything works. And if you don't believe them, you just ask them, right? So my goal is to come up with a word that they can't argue with, right? And so the next part I just want to share for a little bit, because when you watch that AMA and the first part that I did, I want to cover this as a second part of imagination. The second part of imagination. Now, I know I might have said this in the first one, but let me just open up by saying this. Do you realize that everything we experience each and every day of our life were ideas in someone's mind called imagination that we get to utilize? Whether it's the internet, whether it's Zoom, whether it's chat, whether it's television, whether it's radio, whether it's satellite, whether it's our phone, everything that we have, a dishwasher, an automobile, all these things are from someone's very creative imagination. And I love what Henry Ford said one time. Again, a man that couldn't read or write, couldn't do arithmetic, quit school very early. But because he quit school very early, people would call him a simple man, because he just knew simple principles. And so people used to ask him all the time, why did he want to bring the automobile to the United States? See, the automobile was invented by Mercedes-Benz in Germany. And so during the wars, people got to see, wow, well, what if I could bring those to the United States? And Henry Ford was asked, why did you want to bring automobiles to America? And listen to when I say this, because most people are going to disagree. And that's why I want to bring these concepts to you. Henry Ford said, if I listen to the masses, if I listen to everybody and asked them what they wanted, they would have said, I want horses that are faster and stronger, that can last longer. See, that's taking what we already have and wishing upon that stuff to be better than it is. That's most people unrealistic expectations. They want their children to be better. They want their job to be better. They want to be paid more. They want to buy more for less money. See, the normal imagination of an ordinary or average human being is wishing upon things to be better than they actually are. And since that can happen, that's a pretty awful place to live. So I wish that my spouse would do more. I wish my job would do more. I wish the government would do more. I wish the society would do more. Do you guys hear any of this? I wish the world was better for me. I wish the people were better for me. Well, when you're pushing upon situations, wishing and imagination that you would believe for that to happen when it won't, that's a pretty awful life to live in. Did you guys catch that? See, I've never said this stuff to anybody because I'm just learning so much about it. And then those pessimistic people that believes the world should change for them are very, very pissed off at the people that have positive imagination because they're happy, they're optimistic. If it's to be, it's up to me. I have the ability to change my world. And the imagination is like, you talk to some people like me and they're like, sound like whack jobs. Well, what about the election? Whatever happens in the governmental election doesn't mean anything for me. I've created my own economy. I've created my own freedom. I've created my own joy. Everything that I want in life, I imagine and make happen. So there's only one thing that people can say about people like me. That's bullshit. But yet, these people that say that the world that I live in through imagination is not possible for them. Well, you're absolutely correct, because that simple guy, Henry Ford, said this quote, his most famous quote. If you think you can't, you can't. If you think you can, you can. See, people hate that because the people that believe they can't believe that the world has to change for things to go right for them. And then the other group of people go, now I really don't need anybody's help. I can imagine my life being a certain way. And people call that lucky. People call that lucky. They call it, that they're privileged. See, there's all these words that we got to put on people that are living the life that the rest of us have not had the imagination to have. So the last part of this statement, I want you to get really close. So if everything that we use and utilize and think and if internet wasn't there, we wouldn't have a bunch of people that imagine that their opinion is better than everybody else's. If anonymous people weren't allowed to just troll on people and basically tell everyone, regardless of their ideas or their imagination, that they're wrong. All right. So when you really look at your life, is most of the time, again, the strangest secret in the world. People by Earl Nightingale. People used to say, if you listen to that audio, listen to it, study it, try to memorize parts of it, that basically, if you listen to that for 30 days, your life will change. Because if you just come to the realization that my life is basically what I think about the most. My life is what I think about the most. So if you look at people that have addictions, whether you think they're good or bad, what do you think they're thinking about the most? The next fix, the next drink, the next shot. You know, we're all addicted by a lot of things. And so some people are addicted to drama. Some people are addicted to, let me tell you how awful my life is. Let me tell you about how bad my day is, how bad my injury is, how much I'm in pain, how awful everything is, how I'm bad on technology. See, they're used to telling that story, and they just are so used to it. Have you guys ever had someone that every time you're with them, they tell you the same frickin' story? See, they tell the story, their misery, their unhappy, their unlucky story. And they say it so often to everyone that will listen, they don't even remember that they told you that story. It's just a default mechanism. Let me tell you how awful my life is. And then you say to them, did you just say all those words out loud? Yeah, but you know, it's reality. It's your reality. It absolutely freaking is your reality. Because you can't stop thinking about it. So then when you talk to people, it becomes part of your words. And then it becomes part of your identity. Okay? So one more thing. This word worry. Do you guys know that worry is nothing about imagination being used the wrong way? And before I got on here, I went on AI and I put, give me different words for the word worry. See, the biggest thing I think that people are having difficulty with is they never thought they would ever come up with words that would identify what they want to imagine. And so because they don't have descriptive words, don't you guys find it interesting that the worst thing that's happening in our world today, including to ourselves, is a lack of communication? So we got Dino giving us all these. So we got all these words happening in our head, correct? And someone else told us the definition of that. So when I looked up different words for worry, do you guys find these words to ring with you? Do you know anyone that does any of these things? They always have a concern. Well, what I'm concerned about, anxiety, unease, apprehension, fear, dread, nervousness, boy, a lot of words. Trepidation. Thank you. Trepidation. All right. Fret, angst, misgiving, restlessness, foreboding. It's like, do all these words, now don't you guys know that if I put any of these words in ChatGPT and AI and say, tell me other words like this word, that worry shows up in every one of these. It's all a language model, right? And so when we use words that define who we are through imagination, and then we're pissed off because we make it into reality. Well, Robert, you just don't understand me. I'm glad I don't understand you. I don't want to live in that world. How many of you know people that if they don't listen to you, if you won't listen to their misery story of the world that they created, they're pissed off at you? I still run into people every day that I go, listen, what I want to do is help you imagine your future self. And they go, well, before we get started, you got to get to know me. Okay. Well, I've been taken advantage of and I was abused and I spent time and I've been in a car crash and I had someone hurt me and I had a company hurt me. And I'm going like, wow, you're sure good at telling your past story. When are we going to start talking about your future story? Okay. So I want you to look at everything around you, because one of the biggest things that this book did for me is it got me to tell my current story in a different way. So it made me realize by reading chapter 9 100 times every night before I went to bed, and I read slow, but my superpower is I retain. Incredible retention. So then I looked at it and I went, man, I am not being grateful that I can see. I'm not being grateful that I can hear. I'm not being grateful that I can communicate. I'm not being grateful for I can feel things, taste things, smell things. See, what it made me do is I was telling the story of how awful my freaking life was. And this book got me to say how wonderful my life was. And I know some of you don't believe this bullshit because you won't practice it. But if you read this out loud every day for 100 days, you're going to create a new habit of actually being grateful for the day you're in. Grateful for, man, out of all the times I could have figured out this stuff, right now is the best time ever. And I attract the same people that are imaginators, and they're using this superpower, and we're all keeping each other in check because it's hard to keep yourself in check. Because sometimes you'll turn around and go, yeah, I was thinking about going in that direction, but what would people say? And it's like, shut up. It's not about other people. It's about what the message that you have to share with the world. And listen to me closely when I say this. If you know there's a message that you should be sharing with others and you're not doing that, that's why your life is a living hell. I'll say that again. There's things that you used to be that you're no longer. And you did that. And you don't believe that you should share your story every day with everyone that has ears to hear. And so because you will not do that, instead of living heaven on earth, you live hell on earth. And every day you're going to be reminded of it. Every day you're going to be reminded. And it's like, we'll take that story and share it with the world. Encourage the world to imagine a different life. Become an imaginator or a rag picker. Do it. Well, I don't think I look very good and the camera's not right and I might sound or say something stupid and I don't want people to think of me a certain way. Everything that you say out of your mouth that you think that you feel is about you. Your message and what you learned and the wisdom that you acquire from me and others is stuff that you need to be sharing with others. for them. So the day that your mind clicks and your heart clicks and your spirit clicks, and you go, I think this little nugget, I think this little piece of wisdom is something that other people should hear. As soon as you do that, you become the miracle. And as soon as you do that, so watch, if you're not sharing your message of your imagination future, then you're talking about your past and you wonder why people won't listen to you. Because bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, everyone that watches this video live or recorded already have enough bad imagination in their life. They sure in the hell don't need to hear yours. Did you guys catch that? So in the world of everything, we're storytellers. And there's two things in the story. Either a story of making us feel like the world is going to end and that we don't have a chance in hell. Do you ever hear that they don't use the phrase, you don't have a chance in heaven? There's a snowball chance in heaven that this will work. You guys all know that we use words and all the words we use has a different definition. So for a lot of people, the definition of heaven and hell is something that's made up. Made up. ChatGPT, what's another word for made up? Imagine it. So are you telling me there's actually a group of people that imagine not only in something that helps them each and every day, but also that imagination has some guidelines? They got some guidelines like, would it be okay if you could just be authentic? Could you be honest? Could you be humble? Could you not try to hurt other people? When people don't have any morals or ethics, it's because they don't have good imagination of maybe I shouldn't do this stuff. But we all feel it, don't we? See, maybe no one that's watching this video live or recorded has done this, but unfortunately, I have some not good imagination thoughts. So someone doesn't do something or someone says something bad about me, and immediately I have some not so good imagination, right? But my imagination and these things that are guiding me goes, I don't think you should kill them. I don't think that you should call them out. I don't think that you should physically abuse them. I don't think you should verbally abuse them. Are you guys seeing this? So people that have absolutely no guardrails at all don't have imagination. They want things to be their way. They imagine in a negative way. Like there is no ethics. There is no morals. Just everything's okay. So if someone does something bad to someone, like break a window, run in, and a bunch of people steals everything out of their store while they damage everything while they're in it. See, there's a group of people in the world that goes, "Oh my God, but you don't understand. They probably didn't have a father and they probably were homeless. And let's not put these people in jail and prison. Let's not even fine them. Let's just let them go." Okay. So everyone doesn't need discipline. Everyone can make up whatever they want. Uh, I imagine that if everyone did that, it wouldn't be a good place to live. So I'm not going to live in areas where there's a group of people that think that everything's okay. But then we're all unique, aren't we? So that means that all of us have different thoughts of what that imagination is for us. Why do we have to push that on other people? Why does everyone have to think the way that we think? I don't know. So I just wanted to throw that out there that everything that you guys have around you today, oh my God, I'm glad I got Zoom. Oh my God, I'm glad I got internet. Oh my God, it's like there's a lot of things that other people imagine that we use each and every day. That I think that if you're grateful for those things, and then also just think for a minute, wow, when this wasn't available in the world, who imaginated this? I mean, don't you guys think it's pretty interesting that, oh my God, it only took us 50 years to land something else on the moon? See, it seems to me like there's a large group of people that went, wouldn't it be neat to put something on the moon? Yeah, let's all focus. Let's tell the world. Let's have everyone say that we're in this race against other countries to get a man on the moon. And let's all focus on that. And then we focused on it. And then everyone put a check mark on it. Okay, we're done with that. Let's do something else. Isn't that interesting? It's like, it's like, wow. So anyway, I'm looking forward to answering all of your questions, and it's going to be fun today. And I just wanted to add that on. So if you're listening to this, um, make sure that you look at, go to our YouTube channel and just put on the search in the YouTube for Imagination and Unlimited Wisdom, and you'll find the other one if you don't see it in the. Wait a minute. Look in the chat because Incredible Craig Jackman. A for Alan, which is my middle name. So it's like, how many people know their friends and the people they work with's middle name? Interesting, huh? So Craig's probably going, Robert's the kind of guy that not only will ask, but he'll remember it. Well, because it means something to Craig. It means something to me that Craig knows that I mean something to him. Just, I imagine just loving up on millions and millions of people, and it might be a stupid imagination, but everybody wants to just hang around and watch me do it, I guess. Or you can participate. So, Craig, back to you. I love and appreciate you.
Love and appreciate you, Robert. And okay, so you're an Alan, I'm an Anthony. So there we are. There's our A's.
I thought your middle name was Alan.
No, Anthony.
Boy, I'm really dumb now.
No.
I don't know why I assumed that. See?
It's all right.
My middle name is Alan, but you gave that to me, so I don't know.
Okay, there's the Alan.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so all right. Wow, we got lots of things to go here today. A couple of more quick shout outs really fast. If you want to join the inner circle, it's very simple to do. You go to roberthollis.com/join and become part of it. We have the people in Zoom, if you see little IC next to their names, those are the people that are part of the inner circle. And we get to do more things with Robert, more intense things. And that happens every Thursday with our breakthrough sessions. So please click on either the link at the top of the chat, it's like in a black bar, or click on the join button down below this video, or go to roberthollis.com/join and become part of our amazing, growing inner circle. Not that we don't love that you're a subscriber to our channel, but let's just say that we go further when you're in the inner circle. We do more when you're in the inner circle. We want you to be a part of it. Like David Menetre, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. David Menetre, he just joined. Welcome to the inner circle. Woo!
Thank you.
Now,
Hercules.
Lots of hands raised. We lost one. I'm going to keep him in the queue since he was there. I don't know if he'll be back because sometimes he does have a technical difficulty. But here's who we have on tap: Ola, Deborah, James, Santa Corky, John Tier, Coach Bob. Those are the people that we have who are going to ask Robert questions personally. So let's get started with Coach Bob. Thank you so much for being here, Coach Bob.
Hey,
There you go.
love and appreciate you, Matt, Craig, Robert. Fantastic. I've been with you guys. It's close to a year, and it just keeps getting better and better. I'm telling you, or gooder and gooder.
Hey,
But
whatever Coach Bob's language is.
oh my God, Robert! Now I am so excited about this unlimited wisdom. I'm just really fired up, and I want to ask some questions about it.
Sure,
If
sure.
that's all right. Now, will this take place of the inner circle, or are you going to do both, or have you decided yet?
I haven't decided yet, but my first thoughts are, and maybe this is a great place to ask, you can drop a one in. I'm really, really contemplating on having a whole different group called Imaginators. And in that group, people mentally will know, I know what to do, and I know that I would know what to do if I could get my imagination in the right place. There's this phrase that, there's this phrase out there, Bob, that I know that you've heard. It's in a lot of success books, including organized religious books. And here's the phrase. The phrase is, if you know your why, and some people say, you know, a why that makes you cry, that the how and what to do becomes obvious. It just becomes obvious. So when people are usually asking questions, like, what do you say to people? And where do you find people? And when is the right time to connect with people? See, when everyone's asking these questions on how questions, they don't have a why. They don't know what they want, and they don't have a why. Because if you had a why, you just do it.
Okay.
So you get a call, God forbid this happens. You get a call and your wife says one of your children is not feeling well, and she's taking them to the hospital. There doesn't mean nothing, everything stops. Everything stops. And you're on your way to the hospital. Right. See what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
yeah. And so a lot of people go, well, I don't know why I don't act. Well, the reason that you don't execute, the reason that you don't do the stuff you're supposed to do is because if the reason was bigger and more of a priority, you stop everything.
Right.
Immediately. And I watch this with my wife. There's actors and singers that my wife loves until she doesn't. Do you know what I mean by that?
Oh, sure.
So all of a sudden she hears something that it may or may not be true, but as soon as she hears it, that person falls in a different category. Just immediately. And I love people like that. So the answer to your question is, moving forward, I would like to do a different thing, like Inner Circle, so I can share our message with how to help people obtain anything in their lives. Anything in their lives. And they don't want anything to do with marketing. They don't want anything to do with building an organization. They don't want anything to do with any of that. They just want to know, you know, I'd like to have a little more joy and peace of mind in my life. I got to get me right. So, you know, before I go out and share with others. And what got me on this deal, Bob, was I really understood recently. I just keep asking myself the difficult questions. This is what I do. And through AI and the search on internet, I keep finding these answers. And then those answers help me come up with what I believe my answer is in this moment in time.
Right.
But when you look at anything in life, like I talked on the inner circle, it's like everything that you got in your life, it was like you either have a bad imagination about it or a good imagination about it. And so some people go, wouldn't it be neat to have someone that I can just love up on and dote on and just admire and love? And I don't like waking up alone. You know what I mean? I don't like being alone. So it'd be neat to have someone like that. And maybe we could have a family. And I would love that kind of relationship with my kids. This was all imagination before it happened.
Sure.
So that's where I think we're going. So my question to everyone that's watching this is, if we created another group called Imaginators, would you be interested in being part of that group?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I think that way, when people come on to that group called Imaginators, it's pretty obvious what the word says.
Sure.
And so then if a person got on there and went, do you know what the ingredients is of this one product? That's not the right form. So everyone knowing that if they became a part of Imaginator, that they could promote the Imaginator group, knowing that we're not talking about being an entrepreneur. A lot of things that we talk about in the inner circle are about, how do I gain freedom by helping a bunch of people get what they imagine?
Sure.
So if I help enough people if I can get enough people to trust me, to allow me to get them to imagine, and then how they would feel about imaginating, that if I help a bunch of people help their imagination come true, I'll never have to worry about anything in my life.
Sure.
So sort of keep them separate. And because I know the stuff that we talk about more than anything, especially with Matthew now, you know what I mean? So Matthew gets in the inner circle, and it's like, I know some people that will be a part of the Imaginator thing will only want to watch Matthew create his imagination. So it can inspire them to sort of open up the doors and imagine more. Imagine impacting more. See, Matthew loves doing that, but Matthew really, really wouldn't want to be a AI coach selling AI courses and helping people go through figuring out how to be an AI genius.
Right.
See,
I can.
yeah, Matt's focus on, hey, here's the stuff that I'm using to create what I'm creating. I can share with you what I'm doing and what programs I'm doing and how to do things, but I'm not interested in doing one-on-one life coaching and teaching people how to do that stuff. So
Yeah, it's just nice to get that feedback, from other creators. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Matt, did you ever try this or that? I mean, that's why it's so good with creative people to put them in front of a group of creative people. The other thing is, Robert, is, I have a lot of blocks. Everyone's got all these blocks, and you have to try to get through them, right? I mean, my big why now is just to make sure we have enough money family wise, you know what I mean? And once I get past that, I'd like to help homeless, but I mean, that's on my target, right? I just have a passion for that. But I mean, first I've got to get myself right. And then I can help others. But that's it.
How old are you, Bob?
I'm 60.
I'm 62. You know that.
Okay. Yeah, right. I do.
So what if $13 million was just dropped into your account, tax-free?
Right.
That's the way I started out years ago, because my mentor told me his imagination. And I don't know if these numbers are correct anymore, but he was saying, Robert, if you had $13 million in a bank account, the amount of money that you would make off the interest of that money in the right account would be 6 figures plus a year. without working. And so my thoughts were, and he got me to think that way, is what if we can make this happen in the next 3 years? So you can do what you're really called. Because most of us imagine just covering everything.
Right.
And isn't it funny that we always do? See, some people would go, most people see, we imagine not getting kicked out of our house because once we start going down that imagination thing, most people should shut it off really quick. Like, how do I explain to my wife and our kids that I'm losing the house? Now, I'm not going there. That's one thing that I'm going to handle. And then even the advent and the imagination of credit, I really truly believe in all my heart that there was a group of crazy people, mostly in America, that had the American dream. They could put that on credit card. They can put that on credit card. So now it's not only am I going to make sure that everything's okay and I don't lose stuff, but I need to pay the minimum payments on my credit card. That's where the credit cards make all their money.
Right.
Is on the ordinary and average people that just barely pay the minimum payment or more. Credit cards don't make money off people like me.
Well, me either.
Yeah. And so I'll use the credit cards because they're convenience, but I'll usually make a big payment and just pay it off.
Sure.
So I'm just going to ask you, as you're doing that, to just put a little more pressure on yourself to get the income, not where, because trust me, Bob, I mean this with everything I have in my body. You being an entrepreneur and a marketer that doesn't have to have a job, you're in the top 5% of people on the planet. And you should pat yourself on the back for that. And so what are the things that I can do to in play what we've talked about before is, what if Coach Bob had 10,000 people responsible for his income? And the reason they were doing it was only one reason: to have freedom, to walk away from their job, to retire their spouse, to get debt free. Just those little things, Did you have another question?
No, I'm great. And thanks, guys. And David, welcome to the group. You'll love it. We appreciate you, and love and appreciate you guys, Robert. I can't wait for it. The new site and the new stuff you have. You've just been fantastic these past couple of months. You've really turned it up a notch, and I really appreciated it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Do you think you have? I mean,
the words that I was going to say after that was beating myself up, and then I just stopped myself from doing so. So
yeah, don't do it. You're awesome. Yeah, take the bats. I
would have been on you.
You too, Matt. You've been great too.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't leave you. And Craig, always.
Hey, more to come, you guys.
So
like
much.
My dad was sharing. There's so much stuff that I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys for the people that are interested in it. I was just sharing it just for a second, but it's like I'm sitting here rendering out scenes to my short film,
focus
right?
in on that.
So I won't tell you guys the plot of the film, but this is all being done on my computer, right? So this is the whole control net that's making and then this is it running on my computer, right? This is how I make the scenes, the pictures. They show up in here, and then they get passed on eventually to this that then renders the scenes out as shots, right? And then I put those together in Premiere and add sound effects and all these other things, right? But this is comfy UI,
there's your
if any of
mermaid.
you guys are, right? You see it now?
Yeah.
They probably go full screen with it. Here, I'll just zoom in. How about that?
Wow.
Wow.
That is so
well, you were talking
awesome,
about
Matt.
it the other day, so that's why. I mean, and it was from a different angle. We didn't see her face.
Or
the rest of
yeah,
her body.
I have a bunch. Give me a moment here. Let me see what else I got. This shot I really like.
Oh, the ship, yes.
Um,
And
I have a
Matt,
few other ones here.
for people that are not following you or on the inner circle, you created these scenes using AI, artificial intelligence,
Yeah,
correct?
I believe it or not, I did not go out on the open ocean and shoot a boat with serpentine written on the side. That would have been great, but not quite in the budget range to be doing that just yet. So,
It's
but no,
fantastic,
I
man.
mean, every single film is a combination of a bunch of scenes, right?
Yep.
And all I'm doing now on my spare time is just rendering out scenes from my screenplay and then just putting it together. And if you guys haven't been to my YouTube channel, I actually uploaded a teaser for
What?
this.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, that Craig could post in chat. So
Uh,
it's horror themed. So just know if you're not into horror, you probably won't like
oh,
this. But but if you like A24 horror movies like The Witch and things like that, you'll probably like this. So
Thanks for
okay,
thanks
so
for
that's on
seeing
your
it.
YouTube channel?
fantastic,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. And that should just be at Matt Hollis on
Okay.
YouTube. So but
Oh,
it's on
there
there
it is.
somewhere.
I got it. I got it. I'm going to put the link in the chat.
Yeah, so I'm shooting for April 4th, but the timeline for that has kind of changed for me a little bit because the first big like AI film festival that's being held by Runway, the submission for that ends at March 17th, and there's like cash prizes and everything for that.
Oh,
So I'm like, okay, now I got to get this finished by March 17th. So I'm like working on all this stuff for us and Unlimited Wisdom, and then in between rendering out the shots of this to edit it. So my life's pretty fantastic right now. It's pretty exciting, but I look forward to showing you guys how to do this without needing to have a massive computer rig to run it. So in the future, because I know you guys have stories you want to tell, right? And it's
absolutely.
going to be exciting to see you guys do that. So
fantastic,
Wow.
man. I can't wait to see them. I can't wait. Is it a short movie then?
right now, I for this one, I mean, it probably will end up being like 2 or 3 minutes for what I
Okay.
submit, but the end goal is to create a whole entire short film that's about 15 to 20 minutes. But I definitely cannot get that done by March
Yeah.
17th.
Oh,
So I have to cut a scene out and submit that to see how that does because I just don't have enough time. So,
right.
So Matt,
but
I understand only because of hanging around you, is that does film still run at like 32 frames per second?
it normally is 24. So 24 frames per second gives you like that cinematic look when the
Right.
camera is moving, as where if you guys watch like reality TV or a lot of modern TV, they shoot things at 60 frames, and that's what gives it more of that fluid motion and non-cinematic look. So,
So
you just triple the frames almost.
so how many scenes in that mermaid you just showed there? How many frames are in that?
There's 25 frames in this, but every single scene I do with this has to go through a process. It's interesting because it's almost like old age film, but with digital stuff, right? So I'm creating the scenes and then they come out at like 720p, right? Because I'm not able to sit here. If I had to render out every single one of these scenes, some of them get janky, right? Like not everything looks as
Oh,
smooth as what I just showed you. So since that's the case, I have to render them out in 720 and then use another AI to upscale them to 4K, the scene itself, so then it can go into Premiere and have the rest added to it. But someone asked if you can do voices and stuff. Yeah, I mean, not only can you do that, 11labs.com does voices. I'll play you guys. I was doing like a little you might not even be able to hear this. I'll just share it when it's done.
okay. Okay.
I just
Thank
get
you.
excited and I'm like, check this out, but it doesn't ask me anything. So I'll get to that on the Imaginator calls or whatever we end up doing.
So
So
wait a minute, Matt. Wait a minute. Are you actually saying that you can imagine something and then you go into the creation of that imagination and it gets you so excited that you want to share it with the world?
yeah, I mean that's where all the AI stuff comes from on here,
What?
right? Like
What?
like you
I
shared
mean,
earlier.
but
I don't
what
normally
if you share it and people don't like it?
yeah, I mean I love it. So I think I mean I get a lot of because I'm in communities with this stuff and we're all pushing each other. Like Stable Diffusion 3 just came out, so that means I could redo all of these scenes with Stable Diffusion 3 once I have it, but it's like on a wait list, so I can't really use it yet. But yeah, everything's exponentially speeding up, and these tools too. If you guys go to stablevideo.com, here, let me see here. I think it's stablevideo.com. Sign up for free, because right now you get like credits or whatever. This is exactly what I'm doing on my computer, but it's the website version. So you can upload any picture you guys want to this and it'll animate it, right? But it's like a slot machine. This is how it works, right? So I am rendering out that mermaid scene that you guys saw, or the boat moving. I've rendered out maybe 30 or 40 different takes of that, right? Because sometimes it will move in a direction I don't want it to. Sometimes you don't really have the camera control that you would like just yet. The director stuff, that's coming in the future. Like I saw, if you guys know the tool Runway, it's runwayml.com, or I believe it's Runway ML. Yeah, runwayml.com. I'll just share my screen here so you guys see. Runway actually has the ability to use motion brush, so I can start with an image and you can see some of the assets that I've done here. But the way that this tool works is pretty crazy. It has some form of director stuff. Anyone can use this. So these are like camera controls, camera motion. So if I want the camera to zoom, I can zoom in here so you guys can see that. If I wanted it to like zoom in with the camera, if I want it to roll the camera, I can do that. And then this is something that's brand new. This is called the motion brush. So you have like 5 separate ones, and you can change. So say I want this boat back here, I could paint over it. Say I want the boat to move horizontally to the left, and then click done, generate. And then I have to wait. This isn't being done on my computer. It's being done through here. And this costs money, of course, but these are 2 free, somewhat free versions of this that you can use. So stablevideo.com, runwayml.com. Go ahead and try them out. Tell me what you guys think. If there is anything you want to do with that stuff. And of course, you can generate all your images out with GPT-4. So if you pay for GPT, just ask GPT what you want for images, and it can render those images out. You can throw those right into Stable Video or Runway and start making them, and then throw them into CapCut and edit them. So
that was our commercial break. So now we're going to go back to
you're waiting.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks for letting me share, you guys. I mean, a lot of exciting stuff. So
we love it. We love it, Matt. You are awesome.
Hey,
fantastic.
You guys wondered why did Matt just go off? Well, I teed him up. I'm proud of him.
Well, it's funny because like I'm on meetings with some other people too with this technology, and I was just showing them beforehand, because if I'm sitting like this camera's messed up. But I got all this camera equipment because I used to, believe it or not, shoot everything physically, right? And I want to be a filmmaker in that way. So I got all these cameras around me now.
Fancy.
Yeah. Anyways, back to you guys. Sorry to interrupt your AMA.
No, you did not. You're always. Wow, is that phenomenal?
Yeah, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
We all are.
I love that you got to show that. So for those of you that think you imagine, Matt just showed you didn't. There's a lot of levels of imagination. Craig, back to you. Thank you, Matt. I love you.
Love you too.
Matt, thank you so much. And I've posted some of those websites in the chats, so they're there. Plus, you can go to roberthollis.com/AI for the tools that Matt uses, and they're right there and nicely laid out. So if you want to kind of go further with that a little bit, there you go. All right. Still got some hands up. Boy, you guys, I guess, really want to talk to Robert. Well, then let's get to it. Santa Corky, you are up next. Please go ahead, unmute yourself, and share with us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Matthew. Matthew, you really, from the Inner Circle AMA, whatever it was, when we were on, Robert was on a phone call. He couldn't be there. You really... That absolutely kickstarted me, because I was, God and the universe was already having my mind thinking, and now you're in my thoughts every day. And thank you for posting that, Craig, because I went and followed him. Believe me, I get in the weeds when he starts talking because that's just not my brain. I mean, but I find it fascinating.
Oh yeah.
Well, I will do my best to simplify this stuff for you guys as I learn it. You know, like it's interesting because one of the main things that I'm doing in the communities that I'm in is like taking these really complex things and making stuff with them and like sharing how to do it easier. So that's why I'm like, hey, here's what I'm doing. Oh, by the way, if you guys wanted to do this, here's how you could do it, right? Because it's doing what I'm doing right now takes
YouTube
a bit.
and stuff exploding. I just see you
Oh, I know
exploding
it
doing
will.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're in the forefront. Oh my gosh, it's going to be exciting to
I was telling,
really watch you
yeah.
go. I'll be right there cheerleading without the cheerleader suit on, of course. But
Well, I was telling my wife too, you guys, it's like, it's kind of interesting because when I come into my office, right, I have all this setup in here and I'm doing this all the time. So I'll like leave my computer, we'll go watch a film out there, a show, and it just sits here and renders it out scene by scene. And then I come back and look at what I got and decide if I want it to keep going.
right.
And I'm like sitting out there and we're watching a film and I'm going like, right now I'm making a movie in my office and I'm doing something that no one's done before.
Right.
It's such a weird feeling because like when I walk in here and I'm making this stuff, I'm like exactly what you said. I feel like so on the cutting edge of where the technology is that when they announce a new model, I'm using it. And when they announce new things, I'm trying it. And I saw Arthur Wainio ask, it's like, hey, can you get voiceover with their lips? It's getting there. It's getting there. But there's certain companies that you can use. And then if you wanted to do the control net stuff I'm doing, you can do it. But definitely takes a lot of compute power. I think this computer that I'm using is the good old tax return computer from last year that I got. I got a tax return, right? So this computer is about $5,000. So of computer technology to run this. So very fortunate, you guys. I am very fortunate. So
Great.
And just to let everybody know, Matt was talking about that inner circle. If you want to join the inner circle, please do, because that's the only way you could watch that. I'll post the link in both chats, but you got to join the inner circle to watch it. It's the one that's dated February 15th.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for the inner circle, I wouldn't have had a breakthrough last year. So please go do that. I really recommend. And David, welcome, David, to the inner circle. I can't wait till we're announcing 10 a day coming into inner circle or unlimited wisdom, whatever direction we're going. That is my goal because it's just amazing. It's just, I'm overwhelmed with joy when I'm at I think a confused state in my mind when it's actually been changed to excitement in my mind, because I'm at a pivot point right now. I'm at a real pivot point, and unlimited wisdom showed up just like that. I mean, just like that. I'm going, wow.
Thank you, Corky, for imagining that.
Well, Robert, that's funny because I've always imagined, I guess that's the word I've always thought, man, would it be, I've thought about a lot to work very close with Robert and Craig and Matthew and the lives that we could change, the millions that we could come in contact with. And I just finished watching yesterday's podcast. All morning I was on it in between. I've well, they're not here now, but grandkids here and stuff. But I watched it. But I'd love to share something with you.
Please.
Because you had said in there, first you start with you, and then it affects your family. It affects your house, and then it grows, and then it grows, and then it grows. And
Amen.
I was at my son's house last night, and he was helping me with Call of Duty. Jeez. It's mind blowing trying to figure this out, how to even shoot and aim and all this stuff. My son says, bring it over and sit down. We'll just do it. But that wasn't the reason I was supposed to go there. I was supposed to go there and hear my daughter-in-law started about 3 or 4 months ago. She kept it on the low. She didn't tell anybody about it other than her and my son, about a digital marketing thing that they've gotten into. And I looked at it and it looks legit. I mean, it looks like it can be some. And she's in a community like I've never seen. She's in this community where she gets all of the support she needs. These people in the community find something like Matthew did and said, hey, we need to look at this. This is amazing. I'm going to make it easy for you to understand. And I'm just going, oh my gosh, I get chills thinking about it. But she's she's been a total wallflower, I would say. She's been so quiet. She goes to a party, she goes to church or whatever, she just sits in the background. She doesn't say anything. She's never outspoken. Matter of fact, you would think that she's just a wallflower. Well, because of the impact that we've made, she's on YouTube doing lives now. I'm telling you, I want to get emotional thinking about it because
it's wonderful. It's
I
wonderful.
mean, she's doing these with her little community, with her big community. I mean, it's huge for her. And
I would
she's
tell people,
making an impact.
yeah.
And it's because it started watching Dad go nuts, you know.
Corky, when you first started, for those of you that don't know, Craig can post this, please. Corky has an incredible group of people that are other Imaginators. It was even, I even thought this today. I want to be very delicate in not explaining that people that we're masterminding with, to me, are not subscribers or followers. They're what would be the word? They're part of the community. They're part of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to look at people as followers. They're not followers. They're like, hey, I want more in my life, and I want to hang around people that are doing more in their life. Right. And so when I heard this statement a long time ago, where if you're going online, just don't even think about your videos until they get to 100. Because a lot of people want to know, how do I communicate? Who am I? What do I stand for? What do I believe in? What are my values? What are my morals? It's when someone sent me in the AMA last Saturday, and someone sent me a message, and they said this, and it just made me emotional. And they said, Robert, when you met me 22 years ago, the number one thing you wanted me to do is design my perfect day. And she said, do you realize, I don't think you realize how much of imagination that took for me to create that perfect day. All you asked me to do is write out a perfect day that I would like to experience for me and my family years from today. Mm-hmm. And when you got me to do that, it was difficult, and then it was less difficult. And then all of a sudden, my mind started flowing, and I tapped in, and I went, I don't want to be camping. I want to be in a beach house. Because we really don't know how to imagine. So we try to do the small parts, right? So hearing her expressing herself, and as you're doing it, the only way you learn to express yourself and inspire others, or actually share, is just by being honest and having authenticity. And I love watching some of the people that I'm watching today, where the first thing they come on and go, hey, listen, if someone told you to listen to me because they felt I got stuff going on, let me correct you right now. My life is way better than it was 2 years ago, but I feel like I'm more clueless now than I ever have been. Right? but I'm excited about being clueless. I'm now attracting people that are helping me with my next level of imagination.
Yeah.
And they're stretching my mind, and they're getting me to think that this is possible and that I can impact people. And so, that's the first thing, is just having the best of your ability, an honest conversation with someone numerous times a day. Well, then if you start doing what Corky's doing and what I'm doing, you realize that all day, every day, you're spending basically a full-time amount of hours to the ordinary person, 8 hours, but you're doing that in expressing and inspiring others. And so you just get better at it, and you just get better at it, and you just get better at it. And, there's nothing more that gives me joy in life than watching another person get turned on. Aha, whoa, well, I could do that. Maybe I can do this. And I'm going like, oh my God, you do know when I met you, you told me that you couldn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You do know when I met you, you did nothing but just say to me over and over again on all the reasons why you can't do what you are supposed to do.
Yeah. I hate jumping in front of my mentor
Don't.
because I know you're in a thought. But I was explaining to a friend of mine about what it's like to be talking with your mentor, with Robert. And I said, every one of us can kind of relate to this, I think. And it just kind of hit me, as Robert called it, it was kind of a download. When you're talking with Robert and you're just talking about your regular life and you're wanting to expand your thoughts, you're wanting to think differently. It's like as you're chatting along, Robert will go, whoa, wait a minute. Let's look at it this way. Let's say it this way. So I attributed it to stepping on a rake when you're talking to Robert. Whack. Oh yeah. And now that's my new saying when I talk about that, stepping on a rake, because it wakes you up. You go, oh my gosh, there is a different way to think about it. And that's, I think, for some reason, I'm going to step on a rake.
Yeah.
I tend to attract know-it-alls. And now I don't have the patience for them. It's like, okay, get on. You don't, and I think that's I tend to.
Okay. Let me help you with that.
Because they won't listen. I've sent them to go listen. Yeah, I like it, but
listen,
my guy.
So I want you to imagine. Okay. I want you to imagine when one of these people come on, or they come on a chat, or they say anything to you, is instead of coming from an emotional place, come from a place where the reaction that you're looking for is not here.
Say that again.
Well, I use that from Star Wars, where the guys, Luke thinks they're going to get killed because all these guards are coming up, and the guy, the guy just hang on, and then the guards come up and they go, "Can I see your paperwork?" And he goes like this, and the guy goes, "These are not the drones we're looking for."
Oh.
And it's like, I want you to imagine, and when these people come on, and whether they're trying to get a reaction to you, or whether they're trying to throw cold water on you, or put a wet blanket on you and your audience, I want you to imagine what you will say to these people that could be something that sort of turns them around. Mm-hmm. And so as I said that, it downloaded to me, of course. So Corky, I just had someone just recently that said something to me. And I just said, you'll never be able to explain or prove me wrong, that if you can hate me in the way I think, that I can love you regardless of that.
Say that again, please.
And I said, so regardless of what you think of me,
mm-hmm.
and how do you respond to me, you'll never be able to explain why I love you for who you are.
That is so Robert.
And so it's like, that is that I really honestly, I always imagined in real time reacting to someone, what is something that I could say that could be the furthest from what they want to hear? Because they want to trigger you to get the response from you. And they want to, their goal, here it is. Here it is. Here's the download. Their number one goal is to pull you out of your tractor beam. And what you do is stay in the tractor beam and share love from that place.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you guys have heard this phrase, but it works good for me, as I usually can say to someone, hey, I totally know where you're coming from. I totally know where you're coming from. I used to be you. But thank God someone interacted in my life so I didn't have to look at my life and my future as hopeless and miserable for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So you think I don't know where you're coming from, and I do. And I just want you to know I love you. And if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. And it usually immediately comes back with one other snarl comment or something that they say. And that's when I block them. That's when I, have my group. Usually, sometimes I don't even get to see the comments because Craig's too fast. Craig's using his intuition to sometimes not even allow those people to get involved in the conversation. And that's why I love him so much. And so, but yeah, just constantly imagine, because Corky, wouldn't you agree that there's things that have happened to both you and I that were these aha significant emotional events that all of a sudden shook us to the point where we weren't the same anymore?
Exactly. Very much so. Very much.
So what if we're being used the same way to be a miracle in somebody else's life?
Right.
So that's when I really trust my instincts. I stay plugged in, and almost all the time I get the exact words to say to them.
So
and
true.
it's usually not usually, it's all the time something that like just reaches out for a visual for you guys, but I just flat out just slap them right out of their chair with love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what it does is it breaks their pattern. They're constantly going through all this negative programming in their head that they don't even believe that they have. And so when they're just feeling miserable and want to be a hater and want to be a troll, and then I reach out and say, I just know you'll never be able to understand that I love you and I want to help you. And they're like, why? You don't even know me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good stuff.
Hey, all the stuff that you see I do, there's a way to connect with me, and I'd love to be able to help you in any way I can.
Mm-hmm.
No. That's not what I want.
Right?
It's like when a small child just learns certain ways to communicate. And I've always been that way around this, like this with children, including my own. And then all of a sudden they throw this tantrum or they cry. And then I throw a tantrum and I start crying. It short circuits them.
Right.
They're like crying, they're mad, they're like, oh. And I go, my turn. And they look at me. And it doesn't make a difference if it's at a store or where it is. And immediately people go, the kids got to go, well, I can't do this in front of him.
All right.
Because he's going to embarrass me. He's going to try to outcry me or outfit me. And it's like, that's not the reaction I wanted. So I got to stop. It's weird. Just try to think or ask for the words to speak to those that have ears to hear. But I just like, while they're talking and while they're doing whatever they're doing, you notice all I'm doing is I'm going, how can I snap them out of this pattern that they don't even know they're in?
Right.
They don't know that they keep doing the same patterns with the same words. And really, honestly, what I'm seeing, Corky, in live time is I'm really watching people cry out for help. And it usually, they're using words to beat the shit out of themselves right in front of me.
That's a good way to look at that. That's true.
And so what I do is it's like, if I seen you punching yourself and actually drawing blood and you're hitting yourself hard, my first deal would be to hug you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hug you so you can stop hitting yourself. And I want to hug you so you know that I love you. And I want to say things into your ear that will stop that pattern.
Good stuff.
So, any other direct questions that you had?
Nope, that was it. Excited to where we're going with this.
Yeah.
So excited.
You guys look for, stay in tune. We'll make sure that we post it everywhere. But in the near future, hopefully next week, Corky's going to have me on his podcast, and I'm getting on his podcast to figure out how to have 2 million followers. So.
Well, I have a different alternative, but
I'm joking.
No, I want to be able to do that for anybody else, but yeah, I'm just honored. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yes, you can.
I can't. That's all I think about.
Yes, you
I
can
have to wait.
Yes, you can wait.
There's the rake again. Love you, Robert.
Love you too. It's going to be a wonderful experience. And Corky, I can't tell you how much you mean to me. You're just an amazing,
thank you.
Amazing, wonderful becoming.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Inner Circle. Please be a part of Inner Circle. I like giving commercials. So, you know.
Me too.
I mean, you probably, did we go over 7,000 yet on YouTube, Robert? I mean, Craig would probably look.
Let me go take a quick look.
I kind of threw it out a little bit, but it's Saturday.
Let's see here.
I don't know how fast it goes, but there was some people in the chat.
Oh my gosh.
That's what we do.
We got the 7K. Thank you so much, everybody.
Now, see, I thought it was 8K.
800,000 views is what we're going for. But the 7K subscribers.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, you're going views. But we're going, you get the views after you get the subscribers, or you get better views. Then you get people sharing. Then you get people coming on. We're going to blow this thing up, folks. Get on the ride.
Yeah, I love not only helping people create their voice, right? Get their voice out there. But then when we jump on and Craig does a call out and throws out their link, and all of a sudden, they got the amount of subscribers. Thank you, Corky. You're constantly thinking how to help other people.
We got 1 million to get, Robert.
Yeah. So you're
I wanted you and I to be in tears when we hit the 1 million, when lives are changed with, it's coming.
We will. God bless you.
God bless you.
Again.
Bless you, Corky. Wow. Thank you so much. And all right, we got the 7,000. We're on our road to 8,000. We're on the road to 800,000 views. I haven't checked what the views are count, but last I heard it was 792,000. Okay. So we're on our way to both of those, and thank you for helping. We definitely appreciate you. John Tier, are you about ready? I know that you're moving around. You want to go for it? All right, here we go. There's your unmute. Please go ahead, open up, and share with us.
Well, can you hear me?
Can hear you, John. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm out here and getting ready to celebrate baby shower with my coming grandson.
Nice. Thanks.
Yeah.
How many of those do you have?
This will be number 2 coming up now. So yeah, so we're out
Hey,
here with
look,
the fam
look,
and all of that.
I know we're not supposed to go crazy with this stuff, but my granddaughter Olive made this for my birthday.
Oh my goodness, I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
So
Yeah, so yeah, but they're
my
actually going to
grandson
be.
made me a coffee cup that's buried here. So lucky to have you. And he does what Grandpa does. He makes the 2 with the number 2.
Yeah. That's awesome. That is awesome.
John,
Yeah.
what's going on, man?
Oh man, I just had a really quick question. I was going to get in and get out. Earlier I was kind
But
of sitting in the car and had to put on GPS to get out here. So my question is, and I think you actually really answered it. With the correct imagination, the correct focus, do you believe that we can still make 10 grand in a month in NBC in this present time?
it was garbled. How much a month did you say?
10,000 a month.
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, do I believe that it can happen?
In a 30-day period.
Yes. Yeah. I made $10,000 a month 37 years ago. And every company that I got into, that was my goal. My goal was to make more than I made in the last time that I did it. And I've done it like 11 times. So when I got in MDC almost 6 years ago, it'll be March 6th, my goal was to make Terry over 10,000 in our first 30 days. And it was like 10,600 or something like that. Yeah, totally. And it's all, again, if people would make this industry simplistic, it's just exposing people to information and allow them to sort. And so I tell people, if you wanted to get a strike or you wanted to get a bullseye or you wanted to do anything in life, it's always numbers. It's just numbers. And the numbers do 2 things. The numbers make us get gooder at it. Makes us get gooder at it. And now because of the imagination part of it, John, like when I got in, I just immediately went super affiliates, 1 million of volume a month. That's all I did.
Mm-hmm.
So how many people do I have to get to do $1 million in month in volume? And so isn't it funny when you make the goal or the imagination that big? The first thought that had in my head that other people apparently don't get this imagination, but they should, is I was going, oh my God, what if I got 10,000 people to help me? So what do I got to say and do to get 10,000 people to help me? What would be something that I could help them do? John, if I could show you how to build a home-based business and help other people and in return make a profit every month, would you be interested in helping other people if it made you money each month that you could put into your budget?
Well, I really like that, Robert.
So the only difference between me and other people is I'm trying to get other people to imagine their lives in a better place. And then instead of trying to close them for product or an opportunity to get me a paycheck.
Right. Make it a little noisy when I step out here.
Yeah. So the answer to your question is absolutely. And the reason that I know that is if you guys always notice, whatever group I'm building, I usually focus on a couple of people to get them to have that exact story. So in Nigeria, Mosh and Joshua, Coach Joshua, They both made over $10,000 in their first 30 days. And 9,100 of that dollars came from hitting ranks. So when they hit 50K, as long as they held that position for another month, they made $4,100 up front. And then when they held it the next month, they got another bonus for $5,000. Not counting their jump starts and everything else that's throwing in there.
Wow.
And so what people don't realize is when you help someone imagine and then tell them exactly what to do it, then all you would wish is that would duplicate. And so a majority of the people don't realize how it happened. And now all of a sudden there's not duplication, and then they change what they did.
Mhm.
If everyone just did what I did with them, like when Melody got involved in MDC 6 years ago, she was 25K in 2 weeks, I think. And if you ask Melody, how'd you do it? She would say, I just put over 1,000 people in front of Robert's video.
There it is.
So she was just doing what I did. So I took one Zoom that I got Josh and Jenna to do, and I got that, me and my team got that video seen 119,000 times in the first 2 months. And so I don't know how many people I shared it with, but I did get 321 people to create a free account. And out of those 321 that created a free account, 81 of them bought product. And all their product plus duplication ended up being 41,000 of volume I did my first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe, this is crazy, I know and believe that it's easier to make 10 grand a month now than it ever has been.
Melody just posted 25,000 in 28 days.
Wow. So did you have another question, John?
I think that was it. That was it. They're telling me I have to move my truck. My truck is too big. They shouldn't buy little cars. I thought that.
Well, I love you, Mr. Tier. We'll have a great weekend.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. See you later.
Oh yeah.
John, thank you so much. And just, take it easy on that moving there. All right. So we have 3 more people with their hands raised. Ola Meyer, Deborah Bronner. But first, Mr. James Saunders, go ahead, open up, and please share with us.
First of all, I have got Coach Bob made me take my glasses off. My glasses fell off. 60 years old?
Yeah, he looks like he just graduated high school.
Oh my God. Oh my God. He can have a YouTube channel just on that.
Oh, thanks, James. I bless you, buddy.
My God.
Yeah, Coach Bob could go. I just turned 60 and I want to show you. I want you guys to see my skincare regimen. It's like
he can do it. And what I like about you, Robert, is everybody is looking for the panacea. They're looking for the script. They're looking for what words to say. But I was sitting here, was thinking like, damn, Melanie only showed one video. She showed one video and she made it to 25K in 28 days with one video. It opened my eyes, okay?
it sure takes us back to doing what we're supposed to be doing, right?
Oh my God.
It's funny. I always use analogies, James. You know this, right? And some people don't know this, but it's obvious. Do you guys realize there's people all over the world that one day wake up and say, I would like a swimming pool in my backyard?
Yes.
Okay, do you guys all know people do this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys know what they do is that they got a backyard where their backyard could be like a big cliff behind their house, and then they have houses on both sides, and you can't get any machinery back there.
Oh my
You do know what they do, right? They dig it by hand. They dig it by hand. And so why should you be surprised when you look out there and there's a bunch of paint marks on the ground and some stakes with flags on it? And then you go out next day, and there's no grass and there's a little bit of dirt removed. And then you look the next day, and guess what? There's a bigger hole back there. And the next day, a bigger hole. And the next day, a bigger hole. And then the next day, they're running these big old tubes along the sidewalk, and now they're blowing concrete in there. I go, if you ever watch someone build something, it started with imagination, then you find people that can make your imagination come true.
Oh.
And then you just watch it happen before your eyes.
You see the end from the beginning.
Yeah. And the difference between people that are focused on creating things is they just do it. Creating a race car, building a home, building a group of people that want extra income and freedom in their lives, people that want to feel good. It's like everything out there started with an idea. And then you go, I don't know how to create a pool in the backyard. So you go on the internet, or and you look up, people that put in pools, and you have 3 guys come out and they look at it and give you some bids. You never have a guy that comes out to your house and he's looking and he's looking and he goes, no, there's no way I can do this. No, they will look at you and go, well, I can't get a backhoe back here and I can't get some machinery back here. So it's probably going to take a little longer than normal, but I'm going to have to find some guys that love to use shovels. And it happened. So I've been really, really blessed my whole life, like you, James, to watch, someone wire a house for electricity and someone build a house. And you being in the military, it's like, listen, there's someone that has an imagination, and they go, I want you to go out in this desert and I want you to build a camp. It needs to have places for people to stay and sleep. It's got to have a place for people to shower. It's got to have places for people to eat. It's got to have places for people to worship. I would suggest putting a wall around it. And you got a bunch of people called soldiers that show up, and it's there. And so
the question that I had for you,
okay,
it's related to Dunning and Kruger.
Okay.
With the the one, oh my God, the image of the Valley of Despair. That one right there. Oh my God. Oh my God. When I joined network marketing, how old was I? I was 38 years old. 38 years old. I didn't know my behind from an M16. 38 years old. And I'm like, they finally got me to join this company, whatever the name of the company was. and I joined the company, and people would get excited because I was excited, right?
Wow.
They would get excited, and then they would not be excited as
Right.
they were in the beginning. Then they would be less excited as they were in the beginning. Then they would fall into the valley of despair fully fall into the valley of despair, and then they would quit.
Yeah.
Quit.
Yeah.
So
And-
my question to you is, how did you develop the mindset? Because when I came into business, I just knew I needed to talk to everybody and be
Right.
on fire, but I knew nothing of the Dunning and Kruger effect. I knew nothing of it.
Right.
Where did you develop that from?
Well, it was developed for me from my mentor. Now, he used different words for it. He said, you start out with ignorance on fire. And what ignorance on fire is, or in this example, what they call is you have uninformed optimism. So your imagination is wide open. And it's like, okay, let me find out. How many people would like freedom and make enough money so they never had to work for a job again? You got to be a complete idiot moron to say no to this. So the optimism comes from everyone I talk to is going to want to do this. And so your ignorance on fire, and most people, if they can stay in it, how my mentor got me to stay in it was by challenging me to say, Robert, I bet you can't get 70 people to watch this video in your first 30 days. Not people that said they watched it. Not people that you sent the link to. You need to get 70 people in your first 30 days to watch this video. So he gave me, James, something that I needed to do to see if this theoretical really worked. And so he told me that it was going to take a little while to learn these skills, that I could take 3 years of my life and learn the things that I need to learn to help other people replace their income. So it is a little different person than I look for. I was always looking for people. Do you know of anyone that wants to make 6 figures a year? Because my mentor told me that people usually can't dream more than double their income. And so that really, truly was the question I was asking. Hey, listen, could you do me a huge personal favor? I'm working with this guy. He's training me, and we're looking for people that want to make 6 figures a year plus. So my sorting was who do you know that would like to do this? But because my mentor told me I needed to get 70 people to watch the video, I never, ever fell into the informed pessimism, because I never fell into that because I hadn't gone through enough people yet. I didn't do what he told me to do. So everyone that told me, no, this is stupid, this is a scam, don't be so stupid, why not get a real job? I went, I haven't done what my mentor told me to do to see the evidence of whether or not this worked. So to go with a little simple example, it'd be like if you were teaching someone to throw darts. And you looked at them and said, usually when people throw their first 3 darts, they get a bullseye. That person is going to go into informed pessimism after their 3rd dart. So if the first dart goes in the wall, the second dart isn't throwing hard enough, so it bounces off the board, gets stuck in the floor. Now all of a sudden they go, wait a minute, I thought this was going to be easy. So it's really their unrealistic expectations or their over imagination on the simplicity that they already possess everything they need to do this business. They don't need to know anything. They already know everything, and then they can pull this off. So then what happens when someone goes into the valley of despair is immediately it's not their fault. It's their upline fault, their sponsor's fault. I don't have a supported spouse fault. I work too many hours fault. I'm not really a good people person fault. They always come up with all these things. So they usually quit after they only talk to a few people. And why they go back to this is because they run into another ignorance on fire person. So now they're just playing around. They had the thought in their mind, and now someone reaches out. Oh my God, I'm in this company. I'm going to replace my income in 2.5 days. And that person gets them excited because they're excited. And so now they go to another thing. And my joke has always been with people, James, is I'll call them up a month later or 2 months later. And all I say is, have you found it yet? And they go, find what? Did you find the same reasons why you left your last girlfriend?
Oh my goodness.
Did you find those same faults in the new one? Have you started tearing apart the product in the company yet?
Oh my God.
And someone that you and I know really, really well, I recently seen a chat with them with another person, and they went, oh my God, I jumped over here and the product slate and the product is the wrong product in the box. And the commissions are not right. And I'm going like, this guy's only been in the company 90 days and he's already got a list of things that the company's messed up on. So if you're not talking great about something with a positive imagination, then you're imagining the worst stuff. And this is what people usually say. Oh my God, now every one of my group's going to quit. Wow, what a great imagination you have.
Awful.
Yeah. So James, so my mentor also called this, James, 4 phases of the business, if you've ever heard me talk about this. So the phases of the business is phase 1, where all day, every day, with every time that you have available, you're looking for those that have ears to hear. And usually once you find your first person that has ears to hear, that goes into imagination, and they start building the business, normal people fall into phase 2. And phase 2 is, I'm going to manage and train this person to do what I'm not doing. And then phase 3 is when now you have people that are managing your people and training their people. So that's why immediately virtually everybody turns into a life coach, as soon as they got a check from whatever they're doing. And now what you do is you have supervisors that are supervising their managers, and their managers are focused on the people, and no one's doing anything.
Oh my God.
And so there's actually stages where my mentor would educate us on this, and he would say the stuff that those people were doing. He says, like, you're so important now that you don't sit in front of the room and nod your head and smile and interact because you don't have a guest. Because if you had a guest at the meeting, then you would be happy in the meeting. But since your guest didn't show up, which I wouldn't take that class, you know what I mean? Then you're one of the people that are standing in the back of the room, being all important, supervising your managers and the people that actually brought a couple of guests. And then all of a sudden, people don't realize this, but they're doing live meetings, And everyone's scared to do this. So it's weird to me why people keep doing things that don't work, because you never could have a whole entire meeting or a bunch of people on Zoom and someone say this: can I only have the guests that are new at this meeting? Could you please raise your hand? Because you would notice 100 people are on the Zoom and there's 2 people that are guests. This is called phase 4, where the reason that you're doing the meeting is because you love hearing yourself talk. So now you went from the back of the room to the front of the room. And now you got trainings on 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 trainings. You have trainings about other trainings that you did. And no one in the training is a new person that the person's bragging about. And no one even knows that it's going on. It's like, wow, why isn't this church growing? Well, when the church is not growing and there's not new people there, then the donations are not as high. And so now all of a sudden the church has financial problems. Why do they have financial problems? No one's bringing any guests anymore. Because if you brought a guest would be inspired. They would be ignorance on fire. They would be, so your new people that show up, James, on one of your Sunday things, if they're new, they're like, oh my God, I've always been praying and looking for this, and listen to all this wonderful information. James, where have you been my whole life? And the other people, while you're doing it, they're doing this. They're actually talking they're muted their Zoom, and in your meeting where everyone can see them, they're talking to somebody else. And you're like, are you so ignorant you don't even know that people can see you distracted? No, because they're too into their self.
Yes.
So now they're just showing up so they can say that they're supporting you. They're just not paying attention. So that's the valley of despair. Because when you're always in supervisor mode, manager mode, and you're not in creation mode, you're not in imagination. I think that a lot of people, when they see me, it's like, I'm always sharing with you guys my imagination, but behind that imagination, you see my creation. And you watch me create, and you constantly watch me do evidence. And then I show you guys other people that have evidence. So don't you guys find it funny? And maybe they'll never see this, but who would like to work with me? You're all of a sudden making $20,000, $30,000 a month. And now you hit a rank and they no longer show up on any of the Zooms. I was equal to a super affiliate. I was making way over $1 million a year before the age of 30. And when my mentor was talking, I was in the front seat, undistracted, doing my very best to get every piece of information out of that man's mind that he had to offer. And I know I'm weird, because in the middle of the training, I'd see other people get up, walk outside. They got their little group all talking, impressing each other. And I'm going like, that's when I heard that phrase, James. J. Paul Getty said this. He said, do you know being successful and wealthy in America is the easiest thing in the world? He goes, because there is absolutely no competition. No one else is doing jack. They're not doing anything. So if you're just consistent and getting your imagination fired up, getting in that imagination state, then put on your Imaginator cape and start finding other people that you can get to imaginate. Because when you're sharing imagination with people and getting them to imagine, that's live. You'll never feel more alive than helping another person use their imagination. And that's why they say stories sell and facts tell. Because you always can tell when you're not connected with people is when all you're interested in is sharing facts with them. And when you're sharing facts, in my opinion, sharing facts is dead. It's just dead. If you guys notice, if I ever share anyone having evidence, do you notice it's always in a story? So I could say, did you guys know that Amazon makes $35 billion a year off 200 million Prime subscribers? See, that's a fact. Where you turn that into the story is you go, man, if all these other people can have a group of people that are on subscriptions underneath them, James, can you imagine looking into your back office and seeing 10,000 active subscribers? Watch this. What if you only made $1 per month off each active subscriber?
Okay.
That's $120,000 a month that's coming in from people doing what they want to do. And that's focused on their imagination and making that come true. They could care less if James is doing the business or not. They never bother you. They're trying to make their imagination come true. So see, you could say the statement, or you could say a story that appeals to them, that gets them to imagine. And then you just have to add a couple of things. Okay, so James, you look in your back office, you got over 10,000 active people. If they're all like doing a subscription on Brand Bucks, that's 1 million in volume a month. To just roundabout numbers, you're making over 100,000 a month. So, James, what would you do with that money?
I would go ahead and be helping those that don't have, those that are homeless veterans, and I'd be putting some money away that my queen of 60 plus years has an adequate place to live, and I'd be taking care of my home health care worker and his wife and his little baby girl.
And when you do that, not if, when you do that, how is that going to make you feel?
Over the room. I would be phenomenal. I would feel fantastic. I would feel heartfelt fantastic.
That you just explained my life.
So it really doesn't matter what video. It doesn't matter what video a person watches of yours. It doesn't matter.
It does. It does.
I
Okay. Let me. I gotta correct you. All right. Because, okay, since we're talking about imagination, right? I used to call videos melodies on here. Craig, my son, Corky, that's known me forever. I've always said the video that you share with people has to be effective. It's got to be effective. Now I'm going to change that word for the first time ever coming out of my mouth. If that video that you're sharing with people doesn't get people to imagine, it's not effective. So let me give you an example. Did you guys hear that no one won the lottery? So now it's up to $1 billion. Do you know if you took one cash sum instead of $1 billion, that you would make like $500 million? And then if you paid taxes on that and you end up with $250 million in cash after taxes, what would you do with that money? So if you guys notice, don't you notice always what it's talking about? What would your life be like if you won the lottery? Are they working on your imagination?
Yes.
And they show this video, it's on news. Oh my God, no one won this week. It's rolling over. We're doing another one. And there's still 3 groups of people. So you walk up to people and you say, did you hear anything about the lottery? What is a lottery? You're playing with me, aren't you? No, have you watched the news? I don't watch the news. There's a part of you that has to go, see, this is what people should do instead of going diarrhea of the mouth, right? Why can't people just go, oh, would you be interested in hearing about the lottery? No, people won't do that. They go excited and their imagination goes crazy and they throw up all over the person. And then the person still doesn't give a shit. That's why in my video, I really, at the beginning of my video, go, look at this is the money that I got from my lottery. It's in my bank account. So now you got the second group of people. This guy must be an asshole and thinks everything in life is about money. This is upsetting to me and I'm not interested. Okay? Thank you for just telling me you're not interested. But some people won't, so they will ghost you or they'll see a video. And then there's a small part of that group that goes, James, what's wrong with you? Are you part of a scam or something? Again, this group is not interested. Now we're looking for the other group that has categories, right? James, you told me if I knew anyone that wanted to make money, and then you told me that this was your business partner and friend. Yeah. We talk numerous times a week. We're great friends. Is he really making that money? Yep. Did you click on my link and create a free account? No, James, I have some questions. I appreciate that you have questions. But when you're working directly with someone like Robert, don't you think it's interesting that if you want to make that kind of money, you would do what they did? So then if we go back to the lottery, right? And a person goes, man, I would love to make that kind of money. Are you getting a ticket? Mm-hmm. No, I have some questions about this. That's a nice way to say that you're not interested. Well, James, I would play the lottery if you would give me the money to play the lottery. No, here's another one. Are you getting a ticket, James? Yeah. Yeah, I clicked on the link and signed up as an affiliate right away. Went through and looked at the products that would be best for me. They have a money-back guarantee, and I ordered them. Yeah, I'm playing the lottery. And I'm also telling everyone that I can find with ears to hear to play the lottery. You see what I mean? And the person goes, well, James, if you're going to go get a ticket for you and your family, can you pick one up for me? Well, give me the money. I don't have any money. See, these are people that are interested, but they're not going to take any action. And what the world tells us to do is the two groups of people you're supposed to try to sell and convince. And then some of those people are skeptical. Well, James, how long have you been playing the lottery? I've been playing the lottery for years. Ever won? Not yet. Not yet. Well, if you've been playing for years and you never won, then I'm not playing. Why do you play? Because someone won. And I'm even buying my ticket where that joker bought his ticket to try to make my odds better. So you got these people that work hard enough where they're now on the success and fulfillment stage. But I'm trying to get people to get involved in the lottery every day, and it's for free. And if they would imagine it could happen to them, and they shared it with as many people as they could, as fast as they could, they get it. They get winnings. It shows up in their back office under the credit wallet. So the people that we're looking for, as you already know, James, is other Jameses. Jameses that, well, wait a minute. Are you saying that I could help people? Yeah, I'm in. Do you have any questions? I do not. Do you have any evidence of what these people are doing? Are they actually really helping people? Oh yeah. My friend Robert, he does videos with people that he gives the money to. We have this one guy in our inner circle. His name is Santa Corky. And in the inner circle, Robert got him to drop everything and focus on one thing. And then when he did a podcast with him, he actually got people to donate money that he ended up giving to the guy. And so now the guy's got 2 million people following him. And all these people give him money so he can go out and help people's dreams come true. It's amazing. Well, when are these inner circle things happening? Every Thursday. I'm sort of busy on Thursdays. I am sure you are. Have you ever watched a show recorded? Yeah, they're recorded. No. See, that's just a person that's not at the right place at the right time. But all of you are watching us in live time. Help people get evidence that this works. So, James, what a wonderful, wonderful question. And I thank you very much for bringing it up.
I thank you for sharing what you shared. Robert, I really thank you for what you shared. I was always wondering why people would start out hot, cool off some more, and then quit, and then jump to the next bright, shiny thing, and they're happy, and they cool off, and they cool. Now I know.
Yeah.
You've shared it so marvelously. Thank you.
And thank you, James. Another great example of this is we talked about the pool, right? So let's say that you hired the people to create a pool for you and your lovely wife. And so they go out there and they draw lines and put flags in, right? And then they come out and they start digging. And then the next day you get up, there's no one in the backyard. There's no progress. How long would it take you to call the person that you hired?
That moment.
That moment. And what if they say things came up?
I don't care what came up.
It's like, listen, my dream and imagination is to have a pool for my wife And it's going to have this amazing hydraulic machine that I can put my lovely wife in, and it just all runs on remote control and just puts her in the water and makes her safe. It's going to be amazing. And the guy says, well, things came up. Well, great. Give me my money back and I'll find some people that can actually create my dream, my imagination. I have the imagination. I am going to have a pool in the backyard.
Bottom line.
And so what do you normally hear from people that are trying to get something done? As, oh my God, good help is hard to find. So my workers said they were going to show up and they didn't show up. What would you say? See, I always tell people, if you're going to hire someone to do something, you would have all the answers to your questions that you ask about this business. Do you guys hear that? I've never said that before, but it's like, well, I don't see anything happening. Well, my workers didn't show up. Find other workers.
See?
Wow, I never thought about that. I was just trying to motivate the workers that I already had.
No.
They didn't show up. Well, what's the reason for them not showing up? Well, it's too hard, and they say that the work's too hard and it's too hot.
I don't care why they didn't show up. The fact is they didn't show up. Get somebody else.
And you know what I would say immediately? Honestly, I know that I can find people to work for you. They're hanging around the Home Depot and the Lowe's with signs. They're called day workers. Because their imagination is to make sure they feed and take care of their family. I'll find some people that want to, well, they say that they don't want to work because I'm not paying them enough. Then you didn't talk to enough people. Isn't that crazy? But that's the number one thing that I always get asked.
You won't have to convince them. You will not have to convince them.
Right. And so I always tell people, and don't you guys all see these people, by the way? Have you ever seen a guy or a gal that's running a business and they're leading by example? Oh my God, I love that. So all the brand new workers that are there know how to do what they need to do efficiently, because the person that actually owns the company doesn't assume anything. And he's patient with people. And he likes to walk over. He goes, let me just show you the way I use the shovel. And they do it. And the person goes, I never thought about doing that. Yeah. Let me see you do it. You're doing a great job. And so I hope that helped James too as well. It's like, I want to find people that watch the video. And really, honestly, you guys, since we talked about this in depth, I'm really looking for people like me. Now, people say they're hard to find, but that's not true. You got to go through a lot more sand. But when I met my mentor and he showed me what he was making, I went, me too. Me too. I'm not expecting to make this money right away. So I said exactly what John Tier said. I looked at him and said, do you think I could make $6,000 in my first 30 days? He goes, with not a doubt in my mind. He says, but you really need to focus on talking to people that are interested. And I'm not going to BS you. You're going to have to go through a lot of people. And I went, I don't care. He goes, why don't you care? And I said, because if I could make $6,000 a month, I won't have to worry about going back in and being a mechanic. I couldn't help a lot of people being a mechanic. I was just an employee. But if I can make this work, and I will make this work. So there was only one thing that I was did to him that might have been out of the ordinary that other people wouldn't do, James. As you guys have heard me say this, and it's important that I say this because that's what my own mindset was. I said, can I ask you a couple questions? He said, you can ask me anything. I go, what'd you do before you did this stuff? I worked in a tire store. I took tires off and put new tires and used tires on vehicles. What else? Every once in a while, they'd ask me to install a car stereo. And deep inside, I was going, I'm going to be a millionaire, man. I'm going to be a millionaire, man. If this guy that installs car stereos is making, $700,000 a year, I'm going to get there. And just like being a mechanic, James, and just like you being a soldier, why didn't we ever think that this should happen in 2 weeks? No, I'm on the journey and it will happen. There's a lot of people that show up in the military. They just want to get in and get out. And then there's another person that goes, what's the next level? What do I have to do to get that promotion? What do I got to do to get that? See? Now, for the military, you want to find a lot of those people. But why are they so limited in a group of virtually hundreds of thousands of soldiers? So don't you think that the military is smart enough to have different branches of military and have a lot of recruits, and out of a lot of recruits, there's some people that are lifers? And everybody gets in. What's it take to be a general? A lot more than you're doing right now. With the right attitude, with proclaiming your uniqueness, with willingness to go the extra mile. This is not science. So the person that does immediately what someone else asks them to do, and they do it better than the average person, and then the rest of the soldiers are pissed off. Did you hear that James Saunders got a promotion? Some people in there are jealous. Some people are pissed off. Some people are like, why him and not me? He's not special. And then there's a small group of people in there that goes, I knew James was getting promoted. His attitude, the way he does things, the way he goes the extra mile.
That's right.
And also a little bit of humility. Because the people that do the best go, hey, James, I need you to do this. Could you give me the exact way that you would like it done? See, not the way I would do it. How could I do this thing that you want to your satisfaction? Well, thanks a lot for asking the question. Most people don't ask that. But I would really appreciate if you did this, this, and this way. Yes, sir. And not while you're doing it, do it a different way. I was like, why do I want to do things in a different way? You make $62,000 a month. Can you just tell me what to do and I'll do it? And then the other question I asked, of course, was, okay, I'm going to do exactly what you tell me to do. And I'm telling you, if this doesn't work, I'm going to find you. And I'm going to open up a 55-gallon drum of whoop ass on you. And he looked at me right in the face and he says, hey, my address is on my driver's license. You want to write it down? And I went, this guy's got confidence that if I do what he tells me to do, I'm going to get evidence that it works. And it did. Man, I'm telling you guys, if you're willing to do the all-out effort for just a short period of time, You think it's hard to find people now. Imagine imagination. Imagine if you, like me, could start a conversation by showing your documentation. Listen, James, I don't want to waste your time. Would you mind if I show you my back office? And then you show it to them and they go, and then I just showed them and got them to imagine, hey, can you imagine making 4.7 million in the next 6 years? No, I can't. How much can you imagine? Be honest with you. Just talked to a person for Curtis yesterday, JD and Shudini, husband and wife, been married for 37 years, commercial truckers. I said, how much do you need to make? They go, we're making about 15 to 17,000 a month now, but we're looking for 10. Can I ask why? Well, one of our daughters is pregnant. And we do not want to be in another city driving a truck instead of being there for our grandchild, being there for our daughter. So we need to replace this income so you can be at home. Yeah, I would love that. Awesome. Let's make that happen. When's the due date? September. Yeah, we'll pull that off. Tell me what it takes. Here's what you say. This is what you do. How many of you are actually taking the time to get other people to get into imagination state? Or are you just saying, hey, you should get in this if you want to make money? Wow, I am motivated now. Oh my God, I'm motivated now. Shouldn't you guys be asking yourself the question, hey, click on this link, become a free affiliate. Now what? Now nothing. Watch a bunch of training videos, get plugged into a bunch of groups, and you got a quarter? No, because we should just, let me see, what should I tell them to do? No, it's like, I just signed up as an affiliate. Congratulations. When can we jump on a Zoom? Why? I need to help you. Let's figure out what you want, how bad you want it, and let's discuss a plan on making it happen. I don't want to get on a Zoom. Okay. I'll send you a video of my business partner doing the plan. Would you watch it? And then after you get done watching it, if you have any questions, I want to introduce you to him on a group chat. And if you have any questions, we can go from there. Okay. Ghost me. Do you know that my mentor is so intelligent? You guys should do this. Is he gave me an assignment. But now I know that he gave everyone the assignment. I did the assignment and called him back. Next step, sir. Then he gave me a quiz. How did that, what was your biggest takeaway on that book? I don't know if I can explain it without crying. Yeah. You now realize that you weren't imagining on a daily basis that you're a miracle and that you can create anything. I got that now. I got that now. Don't lose that feeling. So in the book that it said, it gave you an assignment. And you guys, if you ever see me do this when I'm mentoring somebody, I'm going, so how many of you made it through the 100 days? You know, well, how many people did you show the video to in the last 2 weeks? Nobody. I got a lot of stuff going on. And it's like, okay, I shared with you how to activate your Imaginator powers. And you said, no, thanks. What do you think science of getting rich does to people? It takes all their excuses away. All science of getting rich does is takes your excuses away. Hey, I just want to let you know, James, that there's people your age with your circumstances, your color, that are winning in the world. They're winning big time. And there's even some people that are not only like you, ex-military, but they're older than you and they're making a difference. They're making a huge impact. See, I can't say that to James because I know him. I know him, I'm around them. So James learned early that if you don't hang around other people like in the inner circle, that you'll fall off this chart really quick. My mentor used to say, if you're not plugged in, you're not connected. If you're not connected, you go back to the ordinary lifestyle. And to justify for being there, you make up a lot of bullshit excuses of things that you're not because you wasn't willing to learn.
I understand.
So yeah, James, the video that you're sharing with other people, and if you're not using the video, here's your outcome. Have I succeeded in getting the person to imagine enough to do action? Now, not everyone will do action. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
So as much as I'm continuing to master this ability for other people, I still run into the same people that you guys do. People that are not at the right place at the right time in their lives. They're professionals of beating the shit out of themselves, and there's nothing I can do to get them to imagine. And you know what they'll tell me while I'm talking to them? They'll tell me all the excuses that they have.
Oh,
I love you, James.
I love you too, Robert. Robert, you're fantastic. The information that you dispensed, I listened to very intently, and I came away with knowing that if I'm talking to a person and they're a very good talker, they carry themselves very well.
Yeah.
They don't carry themselves like Robert Hollis, but they carry themselves very well. The fact that they carry themselves very well does not underline if they're not doing anything.
Right.
I understand that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. There was a person, I don't remember whose group they were in just recently, but just like Joshua Daramella, this person got in. The goal was to tell them to share the video with as many people as they can. And it took him less than 24 hours to put 27 people in the business. Isn't it funny? As soon as you say that, people go, well, where were they? Who was it? And what did they say? And where was these people? And did they already have an existing group? They go through all the reasons. And then when you ask them, then we don't believe it. Oh my God, how'd you put 27 new people in the business? Oh, I don't have a clue how many people I talk to, but I just spent all day, every day talking to new people, finding new people, connecting with new people. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that frickin' answer. Yeah, because it's exactly the answer that you're not doing. See, we don't want to hear the truth. We want to think, well, did Robert help you? You know, have you been in this industry before? We immediately imagine, listen, imagine all the reasons that someone did and we can't. The one you got to have, oh my God, if they did it, I can do this. I don't need to do it as good as they did it at the beginning, but I will get better every day. I will get gooder every day. So I love you, Mr. Saunders.
Thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Craig, back to you.
All right, James Saunders, thank you so much. Love how we bring all of this out to you, Robert, and you just share the unlimited wisdom. Now, Deborah Bronner, are you still wanting to chat with Robert? Yes, you are. Okay, very good. There's your unmute. Please open up and share with us.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Robert,
Deborah.
Matthew, and Craig. I've been sitting here 2 hours and 35 minutes, just so overwhelmingly excited to tell you what's going on.
Tell me.
Tell you. Well, I've had so many technical excuses these last 5 years and medical. And so I haven't been able to text or do the chat, and I have not, and so I thought. And so, because I can't, injuries on my right hand, I can't write anything, take notes, and I've watched everything on YouTube, but Melody's been telling me it's not the same. I feel today like I've participated, everything's working, and for the first time, because I was manifesting, imagining since the inner circle that and that so this is the first day in a year that I have took notes with my bad hand. I don't know if I can read them, but I did it. I participated on the chat. I woke up. You woke me up. Robert, I can't tell you how much I thank you, respect you, honor you, and love you most of all for letting me be in the family, not active, but I'm imagining and creating and excited because Matthew started talking about editing.
Deborah, you are active.
Acting, or action is what I meant.
You are.
I mean, when Thursday in the inner circle, when Matthew started talking about videos and editing and stuff, I got so turned on because I know that stuff. I lived all that. I have a degree in film and editing, and television, and I could do that. I mean, yeah. I believe that. I own that. But the passion that's here now and wanting to share with others how I feel and I started imagining with other people yesterday, but still I started. And what wonderful phone calls instead of, they told me it was really nice to talk to me because I have just whined and complained about injuries. Well, today on the inner circle, I just renamed that inconveniences.
Yeah.
And I will handle. You've taught me to reframe my thoughts, which is wonderful. And I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm excited. I'm
excited for you.
Thank you. I told Melody, I'm all alone in my apartment and, all the time, except when someone comes. But I realized I was on the pity pot, loneliness pity pot. And then I thought, well, there are so many blessings from our Creator. And yes. I've really went into focusing on what He's given us, like in the God Memorandum, what it says. Lord's really given me everything that I need. I'm excited to start a new life and not just exist, but create a life there here in my apartment. I'm living, a life worth living. And I have the tools from you. Matthew, I'll probably be bugging you about what I can do with AI and how to do it. And Craig, you're awesome. You're so amazing, Craig, to how you come up and do all this and stay on top of it. But I told Melody that I decided because I'm alone and the blessings I thought that I get from God, I thought that I wanted to quote, my thing is now, be the blessing. And I talked to two women who have lost their good friends that lost their husbands this last 6 months or year. And, they similarly were feeling lonely. And I'm like, gosh, they both told me they were excited to, think other things in their mind, except for missing their spouse. And so it would have felt so good after those calls, to just like a check-in call, to be excited. And Linda told me, she said, I know I'm just rambling, but it's important to me to say this, that she said, I'm overwhelmed, she said, with your enthusiasm and how I am. Be the blessing. If you don't feel blessing, be the blessing to others. And that's just a start. Melody and I talked about making T-shirts that say, be the blessing. It's about how you help others. Yeah. And being them for. I love it. I love you, Robert. Thank you for loving me.
Deborah, you have lifted my spirit today.
You lift mine every day. I can't get enough. I'm like so tuned into you. I want to go to Montana and see if you're for real or an angel man that came down from heaven.
I'll come see you.
That sounds good. It's sunny here in San Diego today. So
everybody give Deborah a hand. That is just amazing. Just amazing.
Thank you. I feel like I woke up from a negative dream. And
it feels to me like you woke up.
Yeah. And maybe it's 6 years late, but I don't want to whine and complain about my situation. I'm an overcomer. I've always been. So I'm just going to handle what needs to be done medically, handle it and not dwell on it like I was, and reach out to people I love and people I don't know. And what I want to know, because I don't know if you can see my hand, but my question, because I started manifesting, I thought I was manifesting writing. I'm using my Sharpie. I showed my notebook. I can't really read my notes, but that'll come. And it's in my heart. Last week, you sent me a video that was about miracles. And I've been praying for one or two, and for me and Melody and others that need special miracles. And oh my gosh, it's just, my question is, let me not be all wired up. What's the difference? Because I really thought about getting on here. I'm going to make it happen, suit up and show up. And I did. And so is manifesting the same as imagination or what? Which is the difference? What did I do to visualize being here?
Okay, Deborah, first of all, I cannot be prouder of you. No, I can't be prouder of you. But I just love you and adore you. You know that. And what every word, everybody listen to this. Every word that you know or don't know, you really only have 3 choices, right? I can listen to what your explanation of the word is. I can read the dictionary explanation of that word. Or I could create my definition of the word.
Interesting.
So if we had everyone that would take a couple of minutes and do a description of what they thought love was. One group won't participate. Another group would participate, And the people that participated after them would go, whatever Deborah said. And so when you say the word manifestation, my definition of manifestation is for people that are really rooted in a organized religion might believe that manifestation is sort of ooey wooey, sort of metaphysical, sort of
I was told new age from people.
not only new age, but there's people out there that are very traditional and they're going like, wait a minute. So you actually believe that you can manifest stuff and against God's will or your will? See, so because they don't know what their definition of manifestation is.
So
now, that's why I started using the word imagination.
Oh, okay.
Because when I say, hey, do you imagine? Do you watch children imagine? Do you see, do you take your children or your grandchildren to a show and see imagination? Everyone goes, oh yeah, I know what imagination is. So that's why I started using that word. So the direct answer to you, Deborah, is I believe that imagination and manifestation is the same thing.
Thank you, because I did too. Thank you. Oh boy,
Okay.
This is going to be a wonderful journey.
Yeah, so that's my definition. So that's why when I started, I talked about imagining the bad things. Okay, isn't it funny? I think it's funny that I can put a word in like worry. And the AI in the dictionary, if you put other words for worry, and you see all these other words that are all like, man, that's a lot of words for a negative emotion. because I believe that people use other words, but we don't know what those words mean. I'll give you an example. In this day and age, it's amazing that everyone starts out like this is a badge of honor. Oh, how are you doing? Wow. I have really been dealing with a lot of anxiety. I have a lot of anxiety. And when you're listening to that, you're going, what a way to start a conversation. What a way to start a conversation. Because I can guarantee you, because I'm 62. So I see a couple of our very mature group on here. And I don't ever remember hearing the word anxiety when I was young.
Yeah, really.
But there is a word for it. And it was on that list. It's called fear. Because I just was fearful of being bullied. I was fearful of looking stupid. I was fearful of being embarrassed. I was fearful that people would find out I didn't have any parents. Everything. We're all trying to, when we're younger, we're all trying to figure out why no one likes us and why we never will fit in. Isn't that crazy? So everyone had their little niches, right? So I'm not a jock. I'm sort of like a motorhead, a grease monkey. And then you got the cheerleaders, and then you got the stoners, and then you got the geeks, you know what I mean? So it's like, we just had different ways of describing things that kids today say different things about. So now it's like, all the children have anxiety. That anxiety right now is an epidemic. And no one's telling these kids that, I'm sorry, this is a thing called life.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to like you, and you got to stop being a people pleaser. And a lot of people don't even give a rip if you exist. And they're too busy trying to figure out their own things. So, I see a lot of people nowadays using words that really mentally label them in a position where they don't know anything else. And I believe that's what's causing people to be hopeless.
Got to keep the hope.
Yeah, because they just think there's nothing for them and that someone's told them that the game's rigged against them. You know what I mean?
They should watch the God Memorandum and learn it as toddlers, learn their uniqueness.
Yeah. And so the answer to your question is to me, helping people imagine is just my superpower.
Absolutely.
So when I get people to imagine, then that makes me an imaginator. And just
you taught me to dream again, and I haven't been.
Yeah, and just like every skill, the more you use it, the better you get at it. The more you're in touch with it, the more you get to trust your instincts, your intuition, your gut. You don't feel you need to ramble from a logical point. You can actually pause and actually wait for something to say to that person that's for that person, because you're not trying to impress them with how freaking smart you are. So you're quiet and you're going, so, what, how can I help you, Deborah? What can you imagine? And when you can get people to really imagine about helping other people imagine, then even if they're going through things, we're all going through things physically, mentally, socially. It's like we just forget about those things when we're focused on helping someone else imagine.
I have one last question, if it's okay.
It doesn't mean that the stuff disappears. It just doesn't seem to matter when you're helping those two women that are recently lost their husbands, and you're telling them, hey, listen, I understand. You know what I mean? If someone reached out to you and they go, I don't know what I'm going to do because I lost my pet.
I know that. Yeah.
See? And you're going like, hey, I understand. I had a golden and she was my life and I can tell you what to do. And so, we go through things so we can help other people go through things.
Yeah.
If I never went through anything, I would go, I don't know how you feel. I don't know how to help you.
You would have nothing to share and relate. They couldn't relate then. Gosh, this is like
what
exciting.
What was the other question, Deborah?
Well, it's probably in the fear category. I have never done a Facebook Live or YouTube.
Now you said that
I shouldn't have.
Isn't that funny? You go, because I got a question for you. I'm pretty sure this is in the fear category. You already answered your question.
No, that really wasn't. How do I get the confidence or what I need to be on camera like right now? Okay. To be, I haven't done it before.
Here's
I'm great behind the camera. Yeah.
Everything will come to you immediately when you stop thinking about confidence and you start thinking about how can my words encourage and help others.
Thank you. How true. Yes.
Okay. So if one of those women that currently lost their husband says, is there any way that we can jump on a Zoom and you can help me? And you go, absolutely no problem. Here's my Zoom link. And you jump on there and your camera's on and I can see your beautiful face right now and your confidence. And you would get on there and the first thing you would say is, well, listen, how can I help you? It wouldn't be about your confidence. Right. It wouldn't be about your camera. It wouldn't be about that. It wouldn't be about anything. It would be about helping and assisting this person.
Be the blessing for others. Yeah.
So you don't need anything but to be the blessing.
Okay, I can do that. I'm
So,
excited to
so
connect
you
with
can
people
be
again.
you can be a blessing in your house talking to one person on the phone, or you could be a blessing to millions of people
Wow.
by doing a video that you upload to YouTube.
So, do you recommend starting out video wise on YouTube or Facebook
YouTube
or both?
without a doubt.
YouTube?
YouTube without a doubt. You know how to do a video on your phone, right?
Yeah.
Now all we got to do is figure out how to open up your YouTube and click on a button and upload that video to your YouTube.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I'm excited to. Oh, by the way, Matthew, I love your mermaid and what you're creating. It's just so exciting that I could do that stuff. I guess since 3 days ago, I don't want to be left behind. I want to engage in.
That. So being left behind makes you feel what?
Unimportant. That I don't matter. Yeah.
Yeah,
that I'm not good enough.
I'm missing out. So you gotta just say to yourself, I'm not missing out. I'm not behind. This is my journey, and I get to discover my treasure when I find my treasure.
Oh, for sure. Sorry, something just came on my screen. Robert, I want to be in your imagination group. I really want to be the first member when you start. I mean,
I'll talk about Bob's going, no, I want to be the first. Yeah, we'll get that out created. Between Matt creating movies that are going to win contests. Yeah, you heard that out of my mouth. It's like Matt will help us create that on YouTube. I think that everyone's okay with the Imaginator description. And so what we'll do is, it's easy to be Imaginator. It's just simple. You make a decision that you want to be an Imaginator.
Uh-huh.
And then you first learn to imagine yourself, imaginate, spend time each and every day imaginating. And then when you start doing that, you'll have the confidence where you'll start attracting the people that you can help them with their imagination.
Awesome. Awesome. Simply awesome. I'm glad you kept me in the family. I was so afraid for years I'd be sorted out. But
Nope.
I thank Melody for giving me the extra boost to get on. I mean, when you're watching these things on YouTube, I can't feel like today, feel your words and your presence or your heart. It's different.
Yeah.
So,
Believe it or not, Deborah, just like everything else, don't you find it fascinating and wonderful that I know for a fact, Deborah, that you've seen a video in a movie that emotionally impacted you. And so that means that when you watch videos of me recorded, you can put yourself in that state.
okay. Yeah.
You can imaginate that.
Great.
Because I do.
Uh-huh.
I do. When I'm listening to a podcast or I'm watching a video, I put myself there. I put myself right in. If I was sitting in that room with them, what would I ask? What would I say? Mm-hmm. And I do another thing that my mentor told me. He goes, Robert, when you listen to somebody else, not only act like you're there, but they're only talking to you. And you're not allowed to interrupt them, including thinking like, oh, well, that thing that guy just said is not true. I was taught, listen to all of it, allow it to come in. And as it comes in, what did Guy say during that video, which is something I can execute on right now? I know he gave me a lot of information, but what is something that stuck out to me that I believe in that I can do to get gooder? And then it's amazing because if you do that, then when you go back and watch it, you'll find something else.
That's true.
And then when you,
Like
that's
like
called,
reading the Bible. Each time
Yeah.
you go to a different, read something over again, it's different what hits your heart and soul and spirit.
and I tell people, it's not that the book changed, it's you changed.
Well, I have 6 years of you in my heart and spirit, and everybody else on the AMA and Inner Circle. And I'm so proud that I'm following you. And the Unlimited, Melody asked me what I got that did change me, or what I got from the podcast. And, and so I shared with her that. But it was nice to have that question, to really think about what was the most important thing I retained.
Yes. I ask myself that all the time. So I'm constantly focused on whatever I'm watching or listening to. And while I'm watching it, I'm waiting for a download. I'm waiting for something that inspires me. Because if I hear something that inspires me, then I'll pause the video and then I'm just quiet. And immediately when I'm quiet after something inspires me, I immediately get a download of a way that it not only is implemented in my life, but the way that I can share it with other people.
Thank you. And, just want to say that I finally get it. God has me right where he's wanted me to be. It's his plan, not mine. And that I so love that. And was about for me getting closer to the Lord. And I think I needed that. I thought I was already connected. No, you can just push in and get more connected. And that's awesome. That's what
I run into a lot of people that think they're connected. And you're connected based on, again, your imagination of what the definition of connection is. Right?
Right.
And so what inspires me still to this day, Deborah, is when I see people that are connected and the way that they feel and the way that they act and the way that they are. See, that makes me understand that there's a different level of connection that I'm not currently activating, that I need to do a little more. And I think for those of you that are believers, it's very simple. It says, the more time you spend with me, the more time I spend with you. And it's like, I don't think that's distracted time. I don't think that's time while you're watching an action movie. I don't think this is while you're doing dinner. It's like, I always ask people, and I'm bold when I'm doing one-on-one mentoring with people, and I just tell them straight out, I know this is going to sound weird, but how much time do you spend on your knees? Directly thinking and hearing from him? And I always get the same thing. Most of the time, it's like, well, do you really believe that you have to be on your knees? Do you really believe that you don't? I'm like, to me, it's just a gesture that I can't do anything else. You see what I mean? When I'm in a chair, when I'm in my massage, my $10,000 massage chair, I'm just not as connected than I am with the sun in my face on my knees. I'll even take my watch off. I get away from my phone. I get away from my watch. And I just want to be still. So
and hear that still voice.
Yeah, my definition of prayer is nothing more than just thanking him for everything. Thanking it for everything. So then after
thank you for everything.
And then my next part is when I get to that connection and I can feel that connection. I was going to ask people in the inner circle this, you guys, so for some of you that don't know what we talk about in inner circle, here's a question for all of you. Have any one of you ever experienced chicken skin or goosebumps?
Yep.
Okay. If you haven't, my first goal for you, my first imagination for you is to experience that. I would figure out a way to make you experience that.
Wow.
The
Wow.
second thing would be, can you actually create that at will?
Hmm.
Could I get you right now to actually do that and show me on your skin that you created that? Do you see how deep I'm getting fast?
Yeah, because I know for me, when I'm in prayer and feel the touch of the Holy Spirit, I get goosebumps.
There it is. Now, see, you use words that would offend other people because they have already created their own description of that word.
Mm-hmm.
Holy Spirit, come on. This is not the snake stuff, is it? This is not the people that throw their self on the floor and start shaking or got hit by someone. Yeah, it's crazy that we try our best to communicate with people, but yet we choose words that we know that other people don't get. So I always tell people, what if on demand you could create that feeling? And that's called instantly changing your state.
Being in the zone.
So if people didn't do what I did, then I could show them a movie clip. I could show them a picture. I could show them, let's have them listening to a part of a song. But the deal would be, wow, when do I know that I'm connected? When do I know that I'm really connected? I'm in the tractor beam. You know where I get it most? Helping people imagine.
I love it.
And when I'm doing it correctly, being led to ask them the right questions, the magic for me is all of a sudden I seen the husband and wife talking, and we could do this and this, and oh my God, if we could do this, this would be awesome. And then all of a sudden they're talking back and forth. They're not listening to me. And she goes, oh my God, that just gave me goosebumps. I'm going like, yes. Yes. So helping people feel like they're connected is the most beautiful thing in the world. Getting people to say that I created that, I imagined that, I can do this. Them getting what I used to call aha moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're so emotional that it instantly impacts them and changes them. So when I tell people all the time, when I read this book, I was immediately a different person. What was the thing that's happened in your life so far? Is the things that you did that gave you that shift and that paradigm shift and that imagination, where from that point on, nothing's the same. And if you can go back and think about what that is or which ones they were, now you can create that for yourself. It's like, I can't listen to this song without getting emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't watch, for me, it's like little short commercials where they're the people that are imaginators that created a script are so good that they can do it with video, vision, and music, and no one ever says a flipping word. These are the people that we've all seen this, right? And it's like I seen what the heck? I wouldn't tell people to watch this movie because it's a little out there, but it was Ben Affleck and it was called Hypnotic or something. That movie is out there. but there's a couple of moments in it where you go, like the Sixth Sense. Like all of a sudden when you realize, and it's like, I see dead people. And you're going like, what are you talking about? And then it gets to the end of the movie and things all come together like an Alfred Hitchcock movie. And you're just going like, oh my God, the whole time he has, if you didn't watch it, I got to stop. But I got chills as I was explaining it. It's these little moments where you go, wow, I get that out of praise and worship. I don't need anyone to know whether or not I can sing. But there's my favorite song by Howard Hewitt is Say Amen. And if you guys ever watch me around that song, I can't talk to you while that song is playing. Do you guys get what I'm talking about? And so it's people that want to feel those feelings instead of run away from those feelings. Because when I experience those feelings and it alters me and puts me directly in the tractor beam, then all I'm doing right now with Unlimited Wisdom is trying to show you guys how to get in the tractor beam, how to stay in the tractor beam, and how to get other people in the tractor beam. Because the person that gets the most people in the tractor beam wins. Wins at this thing called life. Because I don't care what they do once they get in the tractor beam. Does that make sense? But when you help people get plugged in like that, then they usually do things, and when they get evidence that it works, then they all of a sudden come back to you and they go, Jody, what's the next level? What's the next level? What do you mean? Well, I'm now making 10 grand a month. Me and my spouse quit our jobs. We paid down all our debt. I thought that would do it. Do what? Do what? I just thought honestly, if I hit this rank and made this money and paid my debt off and enjoyed life, I thought I would be happy. No, happiness is a little moment in time. What you want in your life is the joy of pursuit. What do you mean? What's the next level? What are we going to do for others? You finally put yourself in a position where you're going, hey, thanks a lot for financially helping us take care of these 2,500 orphans. But we need your help to go to 5,000. We need your help to go to 50,000. Count me in. It's like, count me in. Really? Yeah. Just keep sending me messages of things that you need done so I can focus on it, so I can find the other dreamers in the world that I can help imaginate, that become imaginators, that create the funds to make that happen. That's the way I work. I love you guys. I love you guys. Craig, you're next, man.
Wow. How many agree this has been another amazing AMA? Yeah, totally. And if you want to save all the chat information for those of you watching on YouTube, it's going to be there. It's in the chat. It will also be in the description below, all of the links that we've shared and some of the information. If you're watching here on Zoom, click on the 3 dots that's right around the meeting chat and then click on Save Chat. It will download to your computer as soon as we are done. Shout outs to the people who participated in today's AMA. Coach Bob Johnson, John Tier, Santa Corky, James Saunders, Deborah Bronner. Thank you so much for sharing yourselves with us. Thank you for sharing yourself with us. And Matt Hollis, thank you so much for being our executive producer. Another one of our guides and wow, a mentor behind the AI that is going to help propel us to the next level. And of course, Robert, bless you, my friend. Thank you so very much. You're an inspiration. You're just increíble. And we appreciate you so very, very much. So, I think that's going to wrap us up. I'm going to go ahead and unmute ourselves so that we can all say so long. Until next time, please be good to yourselves. Be cash. Bye-bye. And please don't forget to share this and all of the stuff, all of the videos that we're producing with others that have ears to hear. We love you and we appreciate you. There we go. Unmute. And as we say, so long.
Hey, thank you, Robert. Love you, man.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Matthew. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you,
Craig.
Matthew.
Robert.
Craig, Matthew.
Bob, James,
Thank you.
Ola.
Thank you, everyone.
Greg.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.
Yep.
Bless you all.
Hennessy, how you doing?
Enjoy the fights,
Yeah.
Robert.
Hi, Jody.
Oh, any
Hi,
fights
Jody. Hi,
tonight?
Mike. Jay,
Any
Bill,
fights?
Mr. Shoemaker. Thank you, Dennis.
Any UFC
Peter
fights
and
tonight,
Linda.
Dan?
Thank
Peter
you.
and Linda, how are you? Nice to see you, Dennis. Hi, Guy. Thank you very much. Melody, I love you so much. Wow.
Thank you, everyone.
Did Linda just get done with the massage? I'm jealous.
Oh,
I'm
what a great
jealous.
laugh. What a great laugh.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take her. I'm gonna give her a massage now. She's got a pain in her back.
Oh,
wow.
boy.
You got a great laugh, my God. Great laugh.
Yeah.
Hi, Ola from Sweden.
Hello,
Ola.
Robert.
Hey.